Dr. Shabir, welcome to Let the Quran Speak.
A pleasure to be on.
We are nearing the end of our series, Dr. Shabir. We're looking at problematic hadith now that talk about harsh punishments for misdeeds, beautiful rewards, amazing rewards for very small good deeds. So, Dr. Shabir, I wanted to look at that a little bit more with you. This is part of our series on problematic hadith and how Muslims should approach and should view the hadith, and how they should look at it in comparison to the Quran as well.
So to harken back to when we talk about the rise of hadith forgeries, this is one category of forgery that is widely recognized by Muslim scholars, that people, in order to encourage Muslims to do good things, they invented narratives to say, okay, you do this small deed, you will get this huge reward. And so people say, yeah, I want to do that. And the flip side is that if you do the small sin, you'll get this huge punishment, and people want to beware of all of that. So this is widely recognized that people invented things like this. And naturally, when the scholars went to work, they weeded out the most extreme ones. But what we will see is that some which are maybe not as extreme, but nevertheless contain logical problems, are still contained in the classical books, the ones which are generally recognized as being authentic books. So that remains a problem on both scores. In the books of tafsir, it is widely acknowledged by the classical scholars of commentary on the Quran that a lot of narratives have been invented in order to encourage people to read the Quran in particular. Now, of course, we don't need an encouragement to read the Quran. It's the book of Allah. We should read the Quran and say, oh, yes, okay, let me take that back and say, yes, it's good to have encouragement, but we don't need false ones. We need real ones. And the Quran itself encourages us to read the Quran. And the Quran encourages us to do good deeds and at the same time dissuades us from bad deeds. And the Quran promises beautiful rewards for good deeds and very severe punishments for misdeeds as well. But the difference, Sophia, is that the Quran says things in a very general way. So it is when we come to the hadith and we see some specifics that we realize that there are logical problems in the way that things are stated in the hadith. Like, how could that be? It's not that we're denying that God is merciful and He is kind and He can give like double, triple, quadruple, 700 times over rewards. He can do all of that. The Quran even says if you give a grain in charity, God will multiply it so that the one grain can be multiplied into 700. Okay, so that's not a problem. It's a huge reward for a small deed. That's true. But we will see with the hadith that there are logical contradictions in the way that deeds are said to merit great reward.
Mm-hmm. So can you give us an example, Dr. Shabir?
Yes. So the examples which I feel to be logical contradictions, they are those examples in which a certain deed is compared to another one. Like, okay, let's take, for example, a hadith that we used to hear a lot when I traveled with groups that stayed in mosques, and we would pray the morning Fajr prayer while it is still dark. Then we would sit waiting until the sunrise. Then we would pray 2 rakats of prayer. This is called variously the Ishraq prayer, which is an Arabic word relating to sunrise, or Chasht, which seems to be an Urdu word relating to the same subject. And it is also called Salatul Duha in some, it's still in Arabic, because Duha means, morning light is here. So a hadith says that if you pray those 2 rakats of prayer, then you get the reward of having performed Hajj. So this is equal to that. You pray this, you get the reward of performing Hajj. Now, it sounds great to the person who was waiting all this while and saying, okay, let me wait a few minutes more. I have something to do. Maybe I want to go to the bathroom, but no, I'll sit here and wait and I'll do these prayers. I get the reward of having performed Hajj. But it would be disheartening to the person who has just performed the Hajj if we say to that person, you did all this work, you did great, you performed Hajj, you just got the same reward as the guy who is sitting in a mosque in his hometown, having prayed the 2 rakats of the after the sunrise prayer. So if A is equal to B, then it follows that B is equal to A. Right? So this hadith, I think nobody really takes seriously in its logical implication. We just use it to encourage the person to do the morning prayer, that post-sunrise prayer, but we're not going to use it we're not going to mention it to the person who just performed the Hajj, because it's going to be disencouraging. And we can find many examples like this, where one deed is compared to another, and we know that logically you can't flip it around. Logically, you should be able to, but the Hadith doesn't allow for that logic. In other words, it's just counter-logical. Should I give you another example?
Sure.
There is a simple formula that Muslims recite to remember God. And of course, the Quran tells us a lot to remember God. وَاذْكُرُوا كَثِيرًا, for example. Many verses of the Quran, remember God, dhikran kathira, with intense remembrance, lots of remembrance. But it doesn't give you the specific wordings. Okay, use this formula, say this so many times. But in Hadith, we have some good formulas, and nothing wrong with that. For example, Hadith that says you say Alhamdulillah, it will weigh down your scale on the good day of judgment and so on. It'll be heavy, small in this world, but heavy in the life hereafter. All of that is good. But it's when one deed is compared with another. So a simple formula is Subhanallah wa bihamdi, which means something like glory be to God and with His praise. And maybe like I begin something with His praise, with praising God. Okay, it says that the Hadith says if you say this 100 times in the morning and in the evening, then nobody on the day of judgment will come with anything better than you, except somebody who has recited this more than you. Now, if you think of all of the good deeds that Muslims can do in the world, all in the world of possibilities, all the good deeds. Imagine somebody's done all of those other deeds, but he didn't say this 100 times, Subhanallah bihamdi, in the morning and in the evening. And the one person who came with this 100 times of morning and evening saying Subhanallah wa bihamdi, this person has done better than this other person who has done the world of good deeds. You see, logically it doesn't follow. If A is equal to B, then B should be equal to A. We should be able to go to the person who has the world of good deeds, except this one good deed, and say to him, you know what? All of your good deeds are just equal to the deed of the guy who said Subhanallah wa bihamdi 100 times in the morning and 100 times in the evening. He's not going to accept it.
So did scholars in the past do that too? Did they look at some hadith and say that logically this doesn't follow?
It doesn't seem that they have done that enough, otherwise we wouldn't have these hadiths in the books. And once the hadiths are in the books, and the books came to be widely accepted as authentic and so on, then the scholars tended to defend the hadith. They will try to explain it by some other way, and they will ignore this other, A equals B, therefore B equals A type of logical implication. And they just simply go with it. They will say, okay, this is encouraging people to do good deeds, so let them do. Don't spoil their appetite for good deeds. Because everybody knows we're not going to go to the person with the ton of good deeds and say that your deeds are equal to the deeds of the guy who did the small deed. We're just going to go to the guy who's not doing anything and say, okay, do the small thing, you'll get the reward like this guy who is doing all of these good deeds. So we know how to use the hadith. Well, okay, let's step back and look at all hadiths and know how to use them. So this is part of taking the balanced approach to hadith. You don't take things literally all of the time. You recognize how hadiths are, how they were invented, what they were good for, and we know how they should be applied are not applied in our present circumstances.
We'll leave it at that, Dr. Shabir. Thank you.
Sure.
Assalamu alaikum.
We have some exciting news to share with you.
As you know, Let the Quran Speak has been on TV screens and social media for 22 years.
We've been reaching people all around the world, spreading positivity and good, and helping people experience the beauty of Islam and the accomplishments of Muslims.
We've been shooting in this very space for the past 2 decades.
And now, with the help of Allah, we're about to get the keys to Muslim Media Hub.
If you like what we're doing, you're going to love Muslim Media Hub even more.
Because it's the next step up.
Think new TV shows, podcasts, social media content, and films.
We'll have new talent, more youth, and a lot more space and resources to do what we love. Spread the message of Allah.
Our Muslim Media Hub costs $2.4 million.
We must close on this building on October 16, and for that, we need to raise $300,000.
How will we raise $300,000?
Easy, Safiya. All we need is 300 people to give $1,000 each.
If you can be one of this select 300, that's fantastic.
Otherwise, please give whatever you can. Every dollar counts.
It's our collective responsibility to share the message of Islam with our fellow human beings. Please help establish Muslim Media Hub so we can do this.
It's a sadaqah jariyah, something that will continue to be of benefit to the Muslim community long after we are gone.
Thank you, and may Allah bless you and your loved ones today and always.
Assalamu alaikum.